Hey, good morning, Dwayne. Long time no talk.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, morning. So again, how else would you want to spend your Saturday, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so last time we talked about how would I utilize some of the tools we have there to create models of some data. So again, I have some disparate type or some disparate data that's coming in this case, all from an OPC server. But how do I actually contextualize, normalize that so I can consume it across my enterprise? And so we took a look at, starting with HighByte and creating some instances of that, and then showing you I can do the same thing in Ignition and Canary Labs and in FrameworX. So today we're going to take that risk of we're actually going to add in some information dynamically, although I have prepped it because there's nothing more boring than watching actually somebody fat finger in a bunch of data. But the upshot here is that we'll just walk through exactly what does it look like. Okay, now that I've built out this model, once I start adding things, how do each of these tools actually create new instances, if you will, of all of this data? And so what does that mean and look like as I start to scale? What all is involved? Because ideally, when you're doing these Industry 4.0 projects, I want that first effort to be, an X amount of effort, and then everything after that just to be some, a tenth of that, ideally, so that I can now scale. And so what used to take me, say, 10 hours, I can now just roll out in an hour. That's the power of utilizing these tools. So make sense?
Yep.
All right, cool. So again, we'll come back into the HighByte instance. And so you can see here that now in the last video, I had compressor 1 and compressor 2. Well, now we're going to get tricky here, and we're going to add in compressor 3. And within Kepware, because I'm just using a bunch of random data, I just made another instance of compressor 1 for everything. So you can see these are all going to be identical. And it's only just to get the video or the information out there. So again, all you really have to do in this case is I just copied and pasted all the way through. So now I have all of these state 3, vibration 3, all the way coming through. So now I have the same set of tags that's coming out. So since we're utilizing HighByte, the couple things you have to do, my Kepware OPC connection, that's still my local server, that's still all there. And then I had to create another instance of that, of my broker or another namespace. So the way that I've segregated this out, and so we'll actually go into here and look at some of the details, is that, so again, I'm going to be publishing information, so it becomes an output. On the last one, I had compressor 1 and compressor 2. I now need to create a compressor 3 so I can publish out into that metric name of compressors, compressor 3. So it shows up in the right place of my namespace. Yep. Now, going back to my inputs on my Kepware, I could go in here and actually bring all of these inputs in, and you can bring it all in, but you can actually do this on the fly. But real fast, we'll just go ahead and browse it, and you can see that I can now add in all of the compressor tags. It allows you to functionally bring in here some new tags. It automatically recognizes them as being new tags. We'll select all 8, and we'll now just import them. So here we are, successful, back to list. Now you can see all of those tags are in there. So just a little, behind baseball, many of the people that are at HighByte came from Kepware. So that's why you're going to see such great utilization of the Kepware tool and how it takes advantage of it. So once we have all of that data that's now created, we're going to come over here. And again, we have the compressor or the model of a compressor, and we have the model of a motor. So now we need to create instances of that. So now we're going to create an instance. 3. We're going to bring in the model itself. So this is my model of motor. And now we're going to bring in the attributes. So here, coming off of my inputs, I can go to my OPC server. And this is where I'm now going to bring in my motor current. So now I just dragged through there, and I'm now going to grab my expression of my amps and speed 3, and then we'll get in the vibration of compressor 3 as well. And that's all you have to do. And so now I'm also going to save that motor 3. And what I could have done is I actually created an instance of a compressor, and it would have, and it looks like I need to call that compressor 3 motor. So let me correct that real fast. All right, so now we'll review all. So what I could have done is just created a new instance of that compressor, and then it would have allowed me to do that dynamically, but I want to show you that there's a couple of ways to do that. So now we'll get into here, compressor 3. This is a type of compressor. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing of my site. So if I remember right, this is my I don't remember what my asset ID on all these is, so I'll have to come back. I think compressor 3 is what I called it. This is why we don't do live data, right? So let's go back to view all. So yeah, compressor 2, 3. Oh yeah, a jump city is where it is. I'm going to edit some of this crap out. What I did say, Aaron City.
Or Jump City, not?
Jump City. Thank you.
Yeah, Jump City.
Yeah, you got to keep me you got to keep me on the right path here. All right, so Kepware. So again, now I need to bring in my compressor state.
Yep.
And my compressor 3 pressure. My compressor 3 temperature. My compressor 3 discharge. Oops, not pressure. My discharge flow. My compressor vibration. Vibration 3. And then the motor. And this again, where I could have just selected or created a new motor, but because I created it already, I'll just bring that in now.
Yep.
So I could have done it both ways. So we'll go ahead and save that, view all. Now you can see that I have all my instances of my compressor. Now I just need to come over to my flow. I'm now going to create a new flow, and we're going to call this comp3 to MQTT. My source and target. So my source is the type of my instance. So I'm going to bring in compressor 3. And then my target is going to be an output off of my HiveMQ. I'm now going to hit next. This now tells me, do I want to do it on exception or how often I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit on. I'm going to hit submit. It's been created. So now you can see that I'm publishing to that as well. And if all has been, and if this is working correctly, let's get over here and just take a look at it in our tag browser real fast. Now you can see in my jump city, I have compressor 3. All of that same information is now publishing back to my MQTT engine. So you can see that's how quickly that happened. So again, just created the instance, got it pumping information. So now it's taking all that same information and it's pumping it out.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's, other than my fat fingering and lack of short-term memory, again, all I had to do within HighByte is just create a new output connection here. Output, so compressor 3 using the device ID and metric name.
Yep.
I was able to go right into Kepware and bring in some new inputs, and all I had to do is hit browse, and it actually automatically found those tags that were not there. I had to create a new instance of that model. And again, you can create the motor and then the compressor, or I could have done it all in one fell swoop because it'll create an instance in doing that. And then all I had to do is just create that flow, compressor 3 to MQTT, and now it's all running. So that's how quickly it was. I do know in future versions of HighByte, you will have the ability to actually dynamically create these. So instead of having to do that drag and drop, I can semantically recreate that data set as well. So that anytime I bring in a new piece of data, I say run this, find new instances, it'll identify those tags and it'll automatically create those. There'll probably be a little more programmatic work that needs to happen behind the city so it knows to create a new instance type, those types of things. But rather than it's easy to do with 8 tags. But if I had a whole bunch of tag, say there were 100 tags in my model, maybe that wouldn't be as easy. So some things to do. It's just challenging because, again, you have all these different data types that can come through in different ways of handling that. So any questions on the HighByte?
No, that's impressive.
All right, so now I'm going to do the same thing inside Ignition.
Mm-hmm.
So brought in the tags, and all I needed to do is create a new instance of that type compressor.
Yep.
Compressor 3, hit apply and OK. And now on this instance in my parameters, I now just need to assign a number itself, 3. And always in Ignition, you got to remember to turn your communications on to be bidirectional.
Mm-hmm.
And so now on my motor, I just need to create that parameter of my motor number of 3. goes in, it finds them because it's already connected into that server itself, brings back the data. So now I've created this new tag of type 3.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and minimize that. And now you can see up here on my compressor, since I've already built this in, I just go down to compressor 3. Voila. Now I have compressor 3 data showing up. And if that wasn't enough, remember, we're actually taking this same set of data and we're actually going to publish it out. So we'll go over here to the MQTT engine. And I believe this was the,
Jump City.
Jump City. We'll bring it in here. I got utilities, got my compressors, and I got compressor 3. And once again, you can see all that data that I need to update to the correct one. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, into Jump City is now all there. So pretty slick, huh?
Very slick.
So that's how easy it is to create this. And again, that's the power of utilizing a UDT. All right, so let's go ahead and give this a whirl inside of the Canary. So again, we'll go back over to the development environment where we have the OPC tags coming through. So you need to just go into configuration. You need to stop your service. I've already gone ahead and done that. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to just browse some of the tags. So I have to go to the namespace where this is coming through, compressor 1. It looks like I need to create those tags real fast. So let's come over here to our compressor 1. And we'll just go ahead and copy and paste all those through. So it looks like I have a couple of compressor sets that I'm actually working with. So, you know, there's me for quality control. So there I've created all those now. So those have now been created. They're publishing out. So we'll come over here to our compressor. We'll go ahead and cancel out of here so we can browse it again. So we'll come in and browse it, come into our channel 2, into compressors, compressor 1. And you can see now that I have all of those tags, we'll just go ahead and one by one add those in under compressor 1. Compressor speed, compressor vibration. Let's get the proper one. I should have 8 tags. Go ahead and hit apply.
Do we want them under compressor 1?
Duplicate tag group 1. Oh, I brought in a second one. Let's go ahead and remove that. AMP1, AMP2, that should be okay. And then we need to bring in apparently that third one here. So let's go ahead and hit apply. All right, so we're good there. So we still need a motor AMP2. So let's go ahead and add that in there as well. All right, so we should be good. Have motor AMP3, hit apply. So go ahead and start the service up again. So now you can see in our OPC collector, we now have 24 tags that are being published out. Our sender is now creating 24 tags. We'll go over to the historian itself. We'll now go over into the virtual view that we created. So again, the compressor was the virtual view. And you can see already here that, well, you already did that once, so we didn't do it very well the first time, so we did it a second time. So all you need to do now is rebuild it. So now we can go in and edit it, and you can actually see that it's not created that third asset.
Should you close out of this view and come back?
Yeah, might need to do that. Good idea. Into the view, compressor, virtual views. We've got 28 tags. We've rebuilt it. Let's go ahead and edit it. There we go.
There we are.
There you are. Look at you, Rockstar.
Yeah.
Built compressor 3. Now you can see we have that other one in there. So again, all we had to do is just go through to the OPC collector, add in the new tags, rebuild the view. And now if we go over into our Axiom screen, so this now we're going to utilize the historian itself. You can see there's only compressor 2 here. Refresh the page. Voila. Compressor 3 now shows up.
Unreal.
So once again, HighByte created an instance. In Ignition, all I had to do is create a new instance of that UDT, a new tag. Just had to assign it the tag values because I'd already built in that drop-down menu to capture it. It was automatically there. And then now here inside compressor, inside Canary Labs, all I had to do was add in those tags, send it, rebuild my virtual view, and just refresh the page, and now you can see that the compressors are automatically showing up, and you can see where we had to stop and start the video a couple times just to get it just right. And then, of course, once again, coming back over in here just to look at some tag browsers, come here, and I really wish they would come out in larger size. I can now come into, let's see, what were we what were we publishing against here in our publisher?
We've done all this and we haven't assigned any registers yet.
Yeah, right. Right. All right. So that's Como Long compressors. We are at the Highland location. So come in here to my Highland, and now you can expand that out. Here we are in utilities, compressors. Oh, it looks like I added something under compressors. There should be a compressor 3 that's getting published. I might need to rebuild that as well. So on our status, yep, that's the one other thing we do. We need to disable it. And we'll go ahead and enable it. Now we'll come over here.
There we go.
Compressor 3 just shows up. Now all that information is there in context. So that's how you do it utilizing HighByte. So again, steps are you just have to add in the new tags, rebuild it. You also have to stop and start your publisher if you want to get the publish out. And that's how quickly it is to scale all this information out.
And they're all next to each other. You don't have to find them in the address space, all kinds of happy stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how quickly it works once you've done all the work on the front end. Now we're able to add the second one. So in the last video, I actually only had one compressor that was publishing out there. So what I've done is just added in some additional tags. So we'll just go ahead and do the same thing here to publish it back out. So it's G5. We need to do Metroville utility. So again, that's that tag that I created. Now we have compressor 2. I realize I just did compressor 3, but go ahead and just add in the motor type, and now we'll get the motor vibration in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's all coming in from our Kepware node. And then the address, you just need to come down here, and you can either type it in. And because I didn't hit enter, it didn't get in there, so we'll try that again. Compressor 2, motor, motor amp, vibration, there we go. Oh, you know what, I did already create that. It's one of the downsides if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. So I got motor speed 2 coming through here. So let's go ahead. And it looks like I got an error in this one here. This should be motor vibration. And go ahead and delete this one. Motor amp, motor speed. No, I just need this tag to be motor vibration. So I was going to do a drop down here, but we'll get into motor vibration 2. But just to show what that looked like, if I were in the drop-down menu, I could come over here to channel 2, get into my compressor 1, and I would just add that motor current in there as well. The actual tag vibration 3 is what I have there.
Yep.
We'll go ahead and hit enter. And because now that I've added that in there to publish that out, we'll now go over here to our runtime real fast. And you can see now I already have compressor 2. It is going to bring in automatically compressor. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. Under my nodes, this is where I said you now can go in and sync it. So now we're going to refresh it. You can see it's bring in all the tags that we have coming through. All right, so my comp state 3. Why am I not able to just edit this right here? That's a pretty exciting video, huh, Dwayne?
Oh, it's pretty pumped. Yeah.
Yeah.
all good. Seriously, with all this, it still takes way less time.
Yeah.
I just recently involved in a project where it was all Modbus, and they were using the old data concentrator approach. So now you're moving tags from PLC number 5 into 4, and then pushing them to number 1. So you got registers in and registers out that are different than a register in, and if you got to go fix anything, you got to move it through all of those PLCs. This is easy.
Sure. All right, so it looks like where I actually goofed up is that I don't call it under my devices. So, and I have a point. I've now brought in all those, so they're showing up here. And then I can go back over here to tags, and this is where I actually want to edit them. All right, so that should get me where I want to go. I think I already have all these, so we'll just go ahead and delete these out of here. So I don't have duplicates of that. So it should be my 8 tags, yes. All right, so vibration 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, 8. So I think we're back in business here. So now we'll come over here to compressor 3. Now that I've created those tags, you can see that I can select my compressor. Got compressor 1, got compressor 2, drawing them out, and I got compressor 3 all coming down. So just a matter of importing the tags in, and then, again, naming those tags so it follows my naming convention that came off here on the scripts. That's what it was looking for. That's hence the error. So you actually have to come in here under devices, a little rusty with the tool, bring them all in, come into tags and now edit it. And because I've now created it, so go back here to our devices. So if you remember on the point, so now what I want to do, in our last video, I only was publishing out on compressor 1. Now I'm publishing out on compressor 2. So we'll come in here and take a look at our tags. So we have Highland. This should be under our Metroville location. So if we come in here, last time we didn't have all of the compressors. So there's under utilities, under compressor 1, still publishing there. And under compressor 2, you see I'm getting a little bit of an update now that's coming through.
Yep.
So again, it looks like something under the hood. Again, this is a pre-release 9.1.18 that'll be resolved in 9.1.2, but it's bringing in the data. So now it looks like we have it. So again, what you had to do, go out and browse your OPC namespace. You need to import the new tags, and then you need to go into your tag browser and actually create the name or change the names of those tags. Again, just had to follow the right semantics that we created for it. And then I just had to go in, and to publish that data, I now just needed to create another type. So it's actually publishing out on this type, and then just put those names in there, and now it'll publish it back out. So it pulls it through. So, again, all of these tools have a different way of doing it. I know there's some enhancements coming on FrameworX that'll make this a lot easier. I know there's some enhancements that are coming within HighByte, so I can do it. Again, Ignition, they're a little bit further along, as is Canary, but I can now take the same data, I can model the same data, create it in context, and then when I get ready to add new ones, there's some just really simple steps of now how do I bring that information through so that I can digest it, and how can I now consume that data out there in a way that is easily doable by the rest of the organization. So again, got 4 different tools. We have 4 different plants, 4 different ways to accomplish the exact same objective. And that's the power of, again, a technology stack versus a solution stack. As long as I meet those minimum technical requirements, I have the ability to go out and add in new data and create some information out of it pretty quickly. So pretty slick, huh?
Very.
All right.
Very
so
slick.
Some fits and starts on this particular video, but again, I think we got it. So
that's very
any questions you got, Dwayne?
So those trends are all real-time trends, not
this is all real time. This is information that is coming straight out of my OPC server. Again, these are simulated, but this is all done in real time. So I'm able to view all of the same data. Here, come over to my Axiom browser. I can see compressor 1, compressor 2, compressor 3. I can do the same thing here in Ignition. And like I said, HighByte is more of a tool for data ops. But you can see here in my tag set itself that I actually have that coming in under Jump City. So publishing it all out there. It's exactly what the tool is.
Interesting.
All right. Well, that's all I got. Thanks again for your time, Dwayne, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Great start to Saturday.
All right.